You ever get that gut feeling something's off, but you ignore it because you want to believe everything's okay? Yeah, that was me, right before my wife nuked our marriage 2 weeks after the honeymoon. I'm Tyler, 31, software engineer. Been working remote out of Denver the past few years. Pretty chill guy, decent salary, love hiking, craft beer, my dog Max, regular stuff. And for 5 years, I thought I had a rock-solid relationship with Lena. She was this sharp, confident PR exec at a startup. The kind of woman who could sell sunscreen in a snowstorm and make it sound like it's for your soul. We met at a friend's rooftop BBQ. I wasn't even planning to go. I was tired as hell from a brutal code sprint that week. But my buddy Eli dragged me out, said I needed to get back out there. Lena was setting up the food table, wearing this casual white tee and jeans combo, like she didn't even try and still looked like she walked off a magazine cover. First convo. We both agreed pulled pork was overrated. That's how it started. 2 weeks later, we were dating. 6 months later, we moved in together. And 5 years later, we said I do at this vineyard in Breckenridge. Lena had dreamed of it since she was a teenager. It cost me a goddamn fortune, but seeing her that happy worth it. The wedding was insane. Like Pinterest exploded and gave birth to a real-life fairy tale. Everyone was crying. Her mom, her best friend Sasha, my brother Logan. I stood there staring at her during the vows thinking, holy hell, I actually won at life. Spoiler, I didn't. A month ago, we'd just gotten back from our honeymoon in Barcelona, jet-lagged but happy. We were planning date nights, house shopping, and she even brought up baby names on the plane home. It felt surreal in the best way. And then boom, Friday night. I was grilling 2 overpriced dry-aged steaks I bought as a surprise. Max was curled up near the patio door. I had a beer in hand. Life was good. Lena texted around 6 p.m., grabbing coffee with Sasha real quick. Be home soon. Cool. No red flags. Sasha's always been a little extra, but whatever. Lena and Sasha were tight since college. I didn't love how she was always talking about signs from the universe and how people need to follow their soul path. But hey, everyone's got a Sasha, right? 8 p.m., no Lena. 9 p.m. She finally walks in and she looks off. Not tired, not stressed, just distant. Like she'd already made a decision and was bracing for my reaction. And then she hits me with it. Ty, we need to talk. My heart dropped. I swear Max even sat up. Those 4 words, man, you don't come back from that. I half laughed and said, you're not pregnant. Are you trying to cut the tension? God, I wish that's what it had been. The bomb. She sat on the edge of the couch and started talking about Dylan. Yeah, that Dylan, her college ex, the one she said was her first real heartbreak. I knew about him, sure, but he was ancient history. Moved to LA years ago. Last I heard, he was doing something techie and living with a yoga influencer. Apparently, Sasha ran into Dylan's cousin at a juice bar. Because of course she did. Found out Dylan has stage 4 pancreatic cancer. Doctors gave him 6 months. Max. And Lena. Lena had been texting him. For a week. She didn't hide it. She pulled up the messages, not flirty, not I miss you crap. Just intimate, honest. Too honest for a married woman. Stuff like, you were such a big part of who I became. I'm not sure why, but this feels important. I don't want to regret not being there. I felt like I was watching someone else's relationship. Then she said it. He asked if I'd be willing to stay with him during the end. And I think I have to. I stared at her. I didn't speak. Not yet. She kept going, like she rehearsed the whole damn speech. It's not about love. Ty, this isn't romantic. It's bigger. Like the universe is giving me a second chance to do the right thing. Sasha thinks so too. I swear I saw red. UTF, you ever try to stay calm while your entire world's burning down around you? Because I did. I sat there, with those two now cold steaks on the table, and tried to make sense of how my wife, my freaking wife, was leaving me for her dying ex-boyfriend 2 weeks after our honeymoon. And she wanted me to be understanding. Maybe we could take a break, she said, just while I help him through this. I said, dead quiet. You think marriage comes with a F*** king pause button? She got defensive, said I wasn't being compassionate, that if I were dying, she'd want someone to do the same. I asked her if she even verified the diagnosis. She said, why would he lie about something like that? Oh, I don't know, Lena. Maybe because people lie. Midnight ultimatum. It was 2 a.m. when I gave her the choice. You walk out that door, you don't walk back in. She stood there crying, said it wasn't black and white, said she needed time. I said, this is the clearest black and white thing I've ever seen. You're either my wife, or you're not. She left. Max watched her walk out like he knew what it meant. I didn't sleep that night, just sat there in the dark kitchen, eating a cold steak with my bare hands, trying not to throw up. She stayed at Sasha's. Didn't reply to my texts, barely acknowledged my calls. I guess that was her answer. The next few days felt like someone had unplugged my entire nervous system. I'd wake up, stare at the spot where she used to keep her laptop on the counter, then realize, oh right, she left me for her dying ex in case the universe needed a reminder. I texted her twice the day after she walked out, once just asking if she was okay. The second time, I told her I wasn't angry, I just needed to know what the hell this really was. No response. By the end of the week, I stopped checking my phone. Every ding felt like a bullet. Even Max seemed off. He'd sit by the front door like he was waiting for her. Eli came over with pizza and beer on day 4. Sat with me in silence for a bit before asking, dude, she really just left. I nodded, told him the whole thing. His face went blank for a second. Then he laughed. Not because it was funny, but because what else do you do when someone's wife pieces out to be Florence F*** King Nightingale for her dying ex-boyfriend? Man, he said, that's Hallmark movie levels of messed up. No shit. And then ding. Lena finally messaged me. It wasn't a hey, let's talk. It wasn't even a voice note. It was a 4-paragraph text about how she'd done a lot of soul-searching and had decided she had to help Dylan transition with peace. I'm sorry, what? This wasn't a hospice patient. This was a guy who used to DJ frat parties and once ghosted Lena for 2 weeks because he needed to find himself in Yosemite. I didn't even respond. I just stared at the message, dead inside. The next morning, I got an email from a law firm. Her lawyer. Subject line, petition for divorce informal resolution, request. No phone call, no in-person talk, just legal paperwork and some cheery-ass, we hope you'll work with us amicably garbage. I forwarded it straight to my brother Logan, who knew a bulldog of an attorney in town. I wasn't about to let this turn into me getting screwed over twice. That same day, Lena's sister Lisa DM'd me, said she was so sorry and completely blindsided. I didn't know what to believe anymore. Everyone had some cosmic take on why Lena was doing what she did. Some said it was noble. Some said it was selfish. One friend literally said, I think it's beautiful she's willing to be there for someone in their final moments. Cool, so my final moments don't count. Then came the real slap. Lena wanted me to move out of the house. The one I paid 70% of the down payment on. The one I spent 2 years remodeling. She said she'd be willing to buy out my portion. I sent back great, cash only, and you're not getting Max. That was the one non-negotiable. She tried to argue he'd provide her emotional comfort. I reminded her I was the only one on his vet forms. She left without him. At least one of us had loyalty. The divorce itself went fast, probably because Lena just wanted it over. She didn't fight for anything, didn't touch the house, didn't even blink when I asked for full ownership. I think guilt had her by the throat. Good. But that didn't mean I was okay. Far from it. I went ghost for a while. Stopped replying to group texts, turned off Instagram, started sleeping on the couch even though I had a whole damn bed. Every time I closed my eyes, I'd see her face at the wedding, laughing with her bridesmaids, kissing me under the twinkle lights, swearing forever. Then I'd see her walking out the door. Max kept me sane, had to walk him, feed him, keep a schedule. He'd nudge me when I was sitting too long, curl up next to me on those 3 a.m. Netflix doom sessions. I owe that dog more than I can say. I didn't start dating right away. Hell no, I wasn't ready. My mom tried to set me up with some yoga instructor from her church. I said no before she finished the sentence. Instead, I dove into work, took every project I could get my hands on, started coding like a man possessed. Wasn't healthy, but it numbed things. Then, 2 months later, out of nowhere, buzz, 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 my phone goes crazy. Lena, calling, texting, leaving voicemails. I ignore all of it. I think maybe Dylan actually died. But then I get a message from Lisa. You need to hear what she has to say. Against my better judgment, I picked up. Lena's voice was barely recognizable. She was crying so hard, I thought something actually terrible happened. I braced myself for the worst. And then he lied. My stomach dropped. Turns out, Dylan never had cancer. Not even a little bit. Dude forged fake medical records, his buddy worked IT at a hospital, and photoshopped some test results. Lied to everyone, lied to Lena, all because he saw our wedding photos online and decided he wanted her back. He faked dying. For real. And Lena. She fell for it, left her marriage, her house, her dog, for a story that would have been rejected by Netflix for being too far-fetched. She confronted him. He admitted it, laughed about it. Said, it worked though, didn't it? He'd already been dating someone else. Was planning to move to California with her. Lena was just a project, a revenge play, or some twisted closure fantasy. She lost it. Came back to Denver, and now she was in full meltdown mode. Wanted to talk, meet, apologize, fix things. Said she realized how badly she if **** kept up. Said I was the only person who ever made her feel safe. You ever get an apology so late it just pisses you off more? That was me. I told her I'd meet one time, not because I wanted anything from her, but because I needed to say what I hadn't had the chance to say. We met at this busy coffee shop downtown. I picked it on purpose, public enough to stop her from making a scene. She walked in wearing one of my old hoodies. Her eyes were wrecked. No makeup, no bravado, just a shell. First thing she said, "You look good. Been working out?" What do you even say to that? I just nodded. Let her talk. She launched into this monologue about regret. Said she still wore her wedding ring sometimes. Still had pictures of us on her phone. Said Dylan's lie showed her what real loyalty looked like. That she proved she could commit. I almost laughed in her face. You think that proves loyalty? You bailed on your husband for a man you didn't even Google. She cried, tried to hold my hand. I pulled back. Then she said it. Maybe this was all meant to happen. Maybe this is the universe showing us we're meant to be stronger together. I lost it. Lena, you're only here because he turned out to be a fraud. If he was actually dying, you'd still be with him. I was never your husband. I was your F***king backup plan. Her face crumpled. Tears fell, but I felt nothing, just empty. She asked if there was any chance, if we could try therapy, start over. I said, the guy you married died the day you chose him. I'm someone else now. Then I got up, walked out. Left her sitting there, alone. Again. This time for good. A couple of weeks passed after that coffee shop meeting. I felt lighter. Not good, not healed, but definitely not drowning like before. I'd said what I needed to say. Lena knew exactly where I stood, and for the first time in months, I had nothing left to replay in my head. No, should I have said this? No, what if she meant that? Just clean silence. Max and I were back in a rhythm. Morning walks, late-night chips, and beer on the couch. I was working out more, eating better, sleeping better. I even signed up for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu like I'd always wanted to. Started going 3 times a week. Let me tell you, choking a dude out on the mat is way more therapeutic than a journal. And then I met someone. Her name's Amy. She teaches the morning kickboxing class at my gym. Short, blonde, hilarious. Sharp tongue, no filter, zero drama. We got coffee one morning after class and just clicked. Simple, effortless. The kind of easy you forget exists when you've spent 5 years tiptoeing around someone's emotional weather system. We started dating. Slowly. No expectations. Just nice. I didn't tell her everything right away. I mean, how do you even start that story? Hey, by the way, my ex-wife left me for her fake dying ex-boyfriend and now keeps showing up in my inbox trying to make amends. Not exactly first date material. But she didn't push, just let things unfold at my pace. Fast forward a few weeks. It's a Tuesday afternoon. I'm at home cooking dinner, blasting old school R&B, feeling like maybe my life's starting to stitch itself back together. Then there's a knock on my door. It's Lena. Standing there on my porch, pale, sweaty, hands shaking, she's holding a goddamn envelope. First thing I notice. She's pregnant. Like, obviously pregnant, not bloated or guessing. Pregnant. I just stared. My brain refused to register it for a full 5 seconds. She opened her mouth like she wanted to say something calm, but what came out was, "It's yours." I blinked. What? She handed me the envelope. I opened it, hands already shaking. Paternity test, 99.9% probability. My name. My knees almost gave out. She started crying. Said she found out right after the whole Dylan implosion situation. Said she'd been to all the appointments alone. That her mom knew, but no one else. Said she didn't know how to tell me. That she was scared. That she didn't want me to think she was trying to manipulate me. Oh, and did I mention Amy was supposed to be at my place for dinner in 30 minutes? I told Lena to come inside, but only to talk. She sat on the edge of the armchair, like she was about to combust. She started rambling how she wasn't expecting anything, how she wasn't trying to get back together, how she just thought I had a right to know. That maybe, just maybe, this could be a fresh start for us. I didn't say anything for a while. I just stared at the test, at her stomach, at the coffee table that still had her damn coaster indent on it from when we were married. I said, "You really think this changes everything?" She shook her head. "No, it's yours. You deserve to know." Part of me wanted to scream. Part of me wanted to cry. Part of me wanted to run upstairs and lock the door like a child, but mostly, I was confused as hell, because I'd always wanted to be a dad. We'd talked about it, names, styles, how we'd raise them. No yelling, no comparing, no guilt games. I was all in, back then. And now, here it was, a child, mine, with a woman who blew my life up like a damn firework factory. What the F *** K do you even do with that? I told her I needed time. She said she understood, left without pushing, but not before asking. Do you think there's a chance ever? I didn't answer. I texted Amy, told her I was sick and needed to reschedule. Then I sat on the floor with Max while he licked my hand and looked at me like, bro, I got nothing for this one. The next few days were a blur. I couldn't sleep, couldn't think. I kept staring at the test results like they'd change if I squinted hard enough. I told Logan. He was quiet for a while, then just said, all right, you gonna be a good dad, or a bitter one? I didn't know, still don't. I finally met with Lena again, this time at a park, neutral ground, broad daylight. She brought ultrasound pics, talked about the baby's heartbeat, how she's been doing yoga, eating better, said she'd keep me in the loop on everything. And then she said the thing I knew she'd say eventually. I really believe this is a sign. I cut her off. Stop. Don't turn this into another F *** King spiritual journey. This is a kid, not karma, not the universe throwing us back together. She looked hurt, like I'd slapped her, but I couldn't take the woo-woo crap anymore. I told her I wanted to be involved, that I'd go to appointments, help financially, co-parent. But I also told her this. I'll be there for the kid, not for you. Don't twist this into hope. She nodded, wiped her face, said she got it. And weirdly, I believed her. So that's where we are now. I'm about to be a dad, to a baby with a woman who left me for a man who faked cancer. And yeah, that's the kind of sentence that makes you question reality. Amy doesn't know yet. I've been trying to figure out how to say it without sounding like a Lifetime movie. Hey, we've been dating a month, and guess what? My ex-wife's pregnant with my kid, but I swear it's not messy. Yeah, that'll go over great. I know I'll have to tell her soon. I hate hiding things, but right now, I just needed to process the fallout before dragging someone else into it. I've started going to therapy, shocker, I know, but honestly, it's been helping. My therapist said something wild the other day. Maybe this is the first time you're choosing your own boundaries, instead of managing someone else's emotions. And you know what? She's kinda right. Lena doesn't get to define this anymore. Not with guilt, not with fate, not with a baby. This is my call now. I'm not trying to rewrite the past. I'm just trying to make sure the kid gets a better version of me than I had of myself back then. That's all I can do. Telling Amy was one of the hardest things I've ever done. It was a Sunday afternoon. Sunny. Quiet. We just wrapped up kickboxing class and grabbed smoothies like usual. She was laughing at some dumb meme I showed her, sitting across from me in this little patio corner spot we both liked. And I just sat there, heart pounding, thinking. You're about to ruin this for her. So I said it. I need to tell you something, and it's a lot. She raised an eyebrow, still smiling. Okay, hit me. And I just laid it out, straight up. My ex-wife is pregnant. It's mine. It happened right before she left me. The smile vanished. Her hand slowly lowered her smoothie cup to the table. Silence. I expected yelling, a walkout, maybe a cold thanks for wasting my time, but she just blinked a few times, leaned back, and said, "Okay, damn." I nodded. Yeah. Another beat, then, "You're sure it's yours?" Paternity test. Blood work, 99.9%. There's no doubt. She sat with it, chewed her bottom lip, then asked the question that actually killed me. "Are you going back to her?" I shook my head so fast, I almost gave myself whiplash. No, absolutely not. I'm not getting back with her. I want to be there for the kid. That's all. She nodded slowly, then again, but she didn't speak for a while. I don't blame her. Imagine dating someone who seems chill, cool, safe, and then boom, ex-wife, pregnancy, drama bomb from hell. She finally looked up and said, "I need time." I told her I got it, told her I'd respect whatever she needed. She didn't ghost me, but she definitely pulled back. Fewer texts, less playful, no gym hangouts. We still talk, and I still hope, but I don't expect anything. Honestly, I wouldn't blame her if she bailed. This is a lot for someone to sign up for. Meanwhile, Lena's been weirdly decent. Not perfect, not chill, but she's showing up to appointments, keeping me in the loop, no manipulative texts, no cosmic signs crap. We're not friends, we're not enemies either, just two people walking a minefield together. The first ultrasound I went to almost wrecked me. She handed me the headphones so I could hear the heartbeat. That fast little thump, thump, thump. It hit different, like in my chest. It wasn't about her, or the past, or the lies. It was just this little person, suddenly real, suddenly mine. I cried in my car afterward, ugly cried, the kind where your shirt collar gets soaked and you don't even care. Therapy's been my lifeline. I told my therapist I was scared of messing up this kid, that I didn't trust myself to be stable enough. She told me that fear is a sign I care, not a sign I'm broken. She also told me I had to draw some hard boundaries, that just because I'm involved doesn't mean I owe Lena anything emotional. So I did. I told her no talking about us, no late-night texts, no confessions. We keep it baby-focused, logistics, facts. That's it. She didn't fight it, just nodded and said, "I want to do this right." We'll see. It's not like I've forgiven her. I haven't, not even close, but I've stopped expecting an apology that'll make it better. There isn't one. One night, she sent me a photo of the baby bump. No caption, just the bump, her hand resting under it. Kind of intimate, but subtle. I stared at it for 10 minutes before finally responding with healthy. She replied, "Yeah, moving a lot lately." I didn't respond, just sat with it. I don't know what that photo meant to her. Maybe nothing. Maybe everything. But I wasn't going to ask. That's not my lane anymore. The hardest part has been the people around us. Some friends think I'm a saint for being involved. Some think I'm an idiot for not cutting her off entirely. One guy from the gym literally told me, "You're too nice. Man, she played you. Now she's playing mom." Cool. Appreciate the unsolicited judgment. What they don't get is it's not about her. It's about this kid. A kid who didn't ask to be born into this disaster. A kid who deserves at least one parent trying their damn best to show up. So yeah, I'm there. I go to doctor visits. I ask questions. I watch YouTube videos about swaddling and sleep schedules. I've got a spreadsheet tracking appointments, gear, due dates. Eli calls me Daddy Data. I hate how much I love that nickname. At night, I still struggle. I think about what could have been, about what I wanted our family to look like. about how much I've had to let go of just to stay sane. But then I imagine that baby, little fingers, little eyes, little heartbeat. And I remember this part isn't about healing the past. It's about breaking the cycle, about being the man I wish someone had been for me. One time Lena said, "I don't know how you're still here." I told her the truth. "I'm not here for you." She looked like she wanted to say something else, maybe apologize, maybe cry, but she didn't. She just nodded and went back to folding tiny clothes. A week ago, she invited me to a birthing class. Said the instructor said it's good for co-parents to attend together, even if we're not a couple. I went. It was awkward as hell. Everyone assumed we were together, called us mom and dad like it was a joint title. I didn't correct them. Halfway through, Lena reached for my hand during a demo. Reflex. I guess I didn't take it. She pulled back, smiled like she wasn't surprised. I think she finally got it. Later that night, she texted, "Thanks for coming. I know it's weird, but it means a lot." I just replied, "Good night." Boundaries. I'm getting better at them. Max still sleeps at the foot of my bed, still stares at me like he's waiting for me to get my asterisk T fully together. I'm working on it, buddy. 3 weeks ago, Lena went into labor. It was 3:17 a.m. When my phone rang, I was dead asleep, drooling into my pillow, Max snoring like a chainsaw at my feet. I saw her name on the screen, and my stomach dropped. I picked up. She was crying, panicked. Said her water broke, contractions were close. She was at the hospital, and they couldn't reach her mom. She asked if I could come. And just like that, I was out of bed, throwing on clothes, barely awake but moving on autopilot. The drive felt surreal. Empty roads, cold air, my hands were shaking, not from fear, but from adrenaline. Like something real was about to begin, and everything before this was just the pre-show. I walked into the maternity ward and saw her in the hallway in a wheelchair, clutching her belly, breathing hard. The nurse asked, "Are you the dad?" I just said, "Yeah," without thinking. Because I was, They brought her into the room, hooked her up to all the machines. She squeezed my hand so tight at one point, I thought she might actually break it. I didn't say much, just stayed present, wiped her forehead, let her cuss me out when the contractions got intense. It was chaos, but it was ours. And then, at 6:41 a.m., after one final scream that probably cracked a window somewhere, my son was born. They handed him to me, wrinkled, bloody, screaming like he had opinions about taxes already. And I swear to God, the entire room disappeared. All I could see was this little human, half me, half her, all future. I cried. I'm not ashamed to say it. I straight up sobbed like I hadn't cried since my dad's funeral. My chest cracked wide open, and every part of me just realigned. They asked his name. Lena looked at me. I knew she had something picked out, something she'd been hoping I'd agree to. I just said Elias. It was a name I'd always loved, and she nodded. No debate. Elias. 6 pounds, 10 ounces of everything I didn't know I needed. I spent the night in that hospital room. Didn't sleep, just held him, fed him. Changed one horrifying diaper that made me question the laws of biology. Lena slept. She was exhausted. And for once, she didn't say anything heavy. No, this changes everything. Just quiet. The next morning, I kissed Elias on the forehead and drove home. Max sniffed me like I'd been cheating on him. I promised him he'd meet his new tiny roommate soon. The next couple of days were a blur. Baby paperwork, pediatric appointments, formula debates, and my brain doing mental gymnastics, trying to figure out how the hell to co-parent with someone I still couldn't fully look in the eye. Lena moved into a small apartment 10 minutes from me. We agreed on a split schedule once Elias was a little older. For now, I'd visit daily, help with feedings, give her time to shower, nap, decompress. It's weird. This version of our relationship, we don't talk about the past. We don't flirt. We barely joke. But when she's holding Elias and he hiccups, and we both laugh at the same time, it feels human, neutral, almost okay. Almost. Amy still isn't back in the picture. I sent her a text the day Elias was born, told her everything, didn't ask for anything, just wanted her to know. She didn't respond. I get it. I do. But it still stings. Some nights, I sit in Elias's nursery, yeah. I set one up in my house and rock him to sleep while staring at the wall, wondering what kind of man I'll need to become to make sure he never feels abandoned the way I did. Because that's the thing. This isn't about revenge anymore. It's not even about forgiveness. It's about legacy, about being the kind of dad who doesn't run when things get complicated, who doesn't fake terminal illness, who doesn't cheat, lie, or disappear. Logan came over last week, held Elias like he was made of glass, said, "You're doing good, bro. I didn't think you'd handle it this well." I told him I didn't have a choice, that when the nurse handed me my son, I stopped being allowed to fall apart. He laughed. "Nah, you just figured out that falling apart and standing up can happen at the same time." Maybe he's right. The other day, Lena asked if I'd take a few baby photos for social media. Something cute. You know, blanket shots, little socks, big yawns. I said sure. She posted one of me holding Elias on my chest, didn't tag me, didn't say anything in the caption except "the safest place in the world." I stared at it for a long time. Didn't feel flattered. Didn't feel hopeful. I just felt tired. Because I'm not her safe place anymore. I'm Elias. That's the only role I'm here to play now. And I'm gonna play the hell out of it.